It looks like Mr. Kidswatter is getting his chapter after all. Chapter 17, The Best Principal Ever. Mrs. Jewls went from desk to desk, handing back everyone's history homework. "Nice job, Eric," she said to one of the Erics. "Well done, Eric," she said to another. "You better study the history of cabbage," she told the third Eric. "The ultimate test is coming." The third Eric, naturally, was Eric Ovens. He thought he knew all about the history of cabbage and felt bad when he saw his homework grade. Then he realized that Mrs. Jewls had given him Eric Bacon's paper by mistake. It turned out that Eric Bacon had Eric Fry's homework and Eric Fry had his. They switched papers. Mrs. Jewls moved on. "Nice job, Dee Dee, although your paper smelled somewhat strange." She stopped at Jason's desk and shook her head. "I was very disappointed, Jason." "Sorry," Jason muttered. He could barely hold his head up. "I was up all night reading." "He'll never finish his book, Mrs. Jewls," said Allison. Suddenly, the classroom door swung open and banged against the wall. Everyone turned to see Mr. Kidswatter. "Good morning, children," he said. They stared at him. He had never been inside their classroom before. Mr. Kidswatter loudly cleared his throat. "I said, good morning, children." Mrs. Jewls hurried to the front of the room. She waved her hands like an orchestra conductor. "Good morning, Mr. Kidswatter," the children said in unison. The principal smiled. "What's all this?" he asked, pointing to the 27 plastic containers stacked against the wall. "Toenails," said Paul. "Also fingernails," added Leslie, so the principal wouldn't think the class was weird. "Well, I'm glad to see you're doing important work here," said Mr. Kidswatter. "Would you like to donate a toenail or maybe a fingernail?" asked Mrs. Jewls. Mr. Kidswatter curled his fingers as he examined his nails. "No, I'm still using mine. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. I'm looking for a student to bang the gong on Friday. I figured I'd start at the top and work my way down until I found someone willing to..." Every arm shot up in the air. Calls of "Pick me!" and "Oh, oh!" could be heard from around the room. "Oh," said Mr. Kidswatter, "I guess it won't take as long as I thought." Me, begged Bebe, stretching her arm high. "No, me, urged Dee Dee. It was impossible to know where Mr. Kidswatter was looking. He wore mirrored sunglasses, even indoors. Joy had both hands raised, doubling her chances of being picked. "You're the best principal ever!" she called out. Mr. Kidswatter's head turned. "You!" he boomed, pointing his finger. Everybody groaned, except for the one person he had chosen. "Me?" Stephen asked meekly. "You?" asked Mr. Kidswatter, sounding somewhat surprised. "Yes, you," he declared. "I chose you, didn't I? And I don't make mistakes." He strode towards Stephen, then placed his big hands on both sides of Stephen's desk and leaned over. "Be in my office on Friday at 2 minutes before 3 o'clock, he ordered. "You will get one, and only one, swing of the mallet, so you better not miss. You must hit the very center of the gong at exactly 3 o'clock. Not a second early, not a second late. There are no second chances." Stephen's right leg was shaking. The principal straightened up and headed toward the door. "Goodbye, children," he said. He stopped. He waited. He folded his arms across his chest. Mrs. Jewls waved her arms like an orchestra conductor. "Goodbye, Mr. Kidswatter," everyone said together. As soon as the principal was gone, everyone crowded around Stephen's desk. "You are so lucky," said Jason. "This is the best thing that has ever happened to anyone in our class," said Jenny. "You better not blow it," said Joy, "or else no kid will ever get to ring the gong again." "Can you even lift the mallet?" asked Terence. Stephen didn't say anything. He hadn't heard a word they said. It was as if the moment Mr. Kidswatter had said, "You," someone had banged a gong inside Stephen's head. Gong!